Hi, my name is Roy Michael. I'm standing near the corner of Costin and Acacia. That's Florida Avenue right over there. And what I'm here to talk to you about is a massive warehouse complex that's under consideration to be built here. Just to the left of me is the solar farm. Straight ahead is Hemet Ryan Airport. Over to the right is the lakes at Hemet West, which is a 55 plus retirement community where I've lived for 7 years. Now, building a warehouse here right next to a quiet residential neighborhood, I don't feel is the best idea. We're talking about noise, we're talking about air pollution, we're talking about disrupting the quiet neighborhood that we have. Now, I hear a lot of things about, people that don't want stuff built in their backyard. We would have no problem with a strip center here, with the number of different stores, the restaurants and stuff like that, townhouses, more manufactured homes. But putting a warehouse that's loud and noisy right next to a quiet neighborhood doesn't make any sense. There are 100 places here in Riverside County where they can build this warehouse that won't impact over 1,000 people. Now, this is a pretty big size. They're going to be putting, I believe, 4 or 5 warehouses here. The biggest one is going to be right here in front of me. Now, here's the shows the blueprint of what they're going to be building. And you can see the very first one, my thumb is pointing north here. And you can see the size of this thing and the parking spaces for these trucks and cars and everything to be within about 10 feet of the property line of these homes. That's way too close. That doesn't make any sense. Now, I understand that this property has been for sale since somewhere around 2008, and nobody wants to buy it. So it's going for a very cheap price for this amount of land. And I'm sure that's the decision the wealthy investors who are looking to build the warehouses here have in mind, is saving probably millions of dollars without any care in regards to the people that are going to live right next door. I live right on the property line over there. That's why I'm so incensed about this. Now, when you have giant warehouses, you have semi-trucks. What I don't understand is why you would build a warehouse 10 miles from Route 10 and 14 miles from Route 215, which is where the trucks are going to come in. It's going to put a heavy burden on Florida Avenue West all the way to 215. And I can only imagine sitting behind 3 or 4 tractor trailers that are trying to climb up the hill to get to Route 10 in Beaumont. Now I'm going to walk over here so you can see really how close the property line is, and I have good estimations of where the properties and everything are going to be. Now, one big problem that we have here, if you see this dirt, this is clay. This piece of property has always had an issue with water drainage. I've seen lakes out here. I've seen it so muddy that you could not walk through here. And when they build the complex, this entire area is going to be asphalt and concrete. Now, they did what's called a perk test. A perk test tells you how fast water will drain into the ground. And from what my understanding is, it had very poor results in regard to the perk test. And when I went to the Planning Commission, I asked about that, and they said, well, the problem with that is there are so many loopholes to get around a bad perk test that a perk test is kind of obsolete at this point. Now, if you look over here, you see this beautiful copse of trees here. All that's coming down. If you look at the plans, most of that's going to be parking lot or parking lot for the semis. as they're pulling in to the giant warehouse. Now people say, well, how bad is the noise going to be? My house is right over there. My house comes to within 4 feet of the property line. And my bedroom is in the back of the house. And there's going to be a warehouse right in front of it. It's going to be probably about 60 feet off, maybe 80, to allow for, 40-foot trucks to be able to back in to the warehouse. You ever seen a semi that was backing in? It's required to have an alarm that goes beep, 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 beep. You want to hear that a couple hundred times a day right next to your bedroom? I don't. Now let's talk about diesel fuel and diesel fumes. When you see a semi truck leaving from a light, look at the stacks on it. You're probably going to see thick black smoke coming from it. We've got a lot of people in this community that have breathing problems because of their age. Again, it's a 55 plus community, but most of my friends here are my age, around 70 and up. And that's a big problem for us. And that's one of the things, that we're worried about. The noise is another one. Now, I don't know for sure, but I had a good long conversation with a gentleman the other day who spent about 20 plus years in the warehouse industry. And he said the biggest problem warehouses have that will also supply food products, which is most of them, attracts rats. Now, I've lived here 7 years. I've never seen a rat. And he said, don't worry, Roy, they're coming. Now, I understand people saying, well, why is it my problem? Well, we have a petition that is for signatures from all of the residents here at Hemet West who oppose having this built here. We have no problem with something being built here, but a noisy, smelly, dirty warehouse is not on that list. So the petition is only for signatures for the people of the lakes at Hemet West. Isn't that a beautiful copse of trees there? They want to chop all those down. Now, as you can see, this is a pretty big field. I've been walking for a bit here. Now, the parking lot is going to be here all along the front. We're standing right now where one of the larger warehouses is going to be. And we're heading over here to the property line of Hemet West. Now, I think that people have a right to help determine what is going to be built right next to their house. And our argument is, even though this is approved zoning for commercial and business, we don't feel that a warehouse property here, which will start making noise early in the morning and making noise late into the night, depending upon how long it takes them to unload the last truck, is not something that we feel should be built next to our neighborhood. And that's really what this is all about. Now, I am coming up here, and I believe this, about maybe 10, 15 feet in front of me, is where the doors for the warehouse will be. Now, look how close we are to these homes. In order to back a semi-truck into the warehouse door here, they're going to have to pull all the way forward and back all the way up. Beep, 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 beep. That's what we'll hear. And that's pretty much all the way down this line. And this is what we're trying to stop. It's just not conducive to the neighborhood it's being put in. There are hundreds of lots available in Riverside County where you can put a warehouse and nobody's going to mind. Can you imagine what it's going to do to the nice serenity we actually have here? This is a very quiet place. We've got the airport and we get planes coming in, not a lot of them. They don't seem to bother anybody. But putting a giant warehouse here is going to bother everybody. I have a petition that's for the Lakes at Hemet West residents. I will be in the clubhouse Monday through Friday through the end of August from 5 to 7, and Saturday and Sunday in the clubhouse from noon to 2. If you're a resident of the Lakes at Hemet West, please come in and sign it so we can help stop this abomination. Thank you.